Linda. Now I'm going to say about Linda how wonderful it is and how fortunate we are to have Linda as the president of the board. The board is a great group of people, and they are so supportive of us and so supportive of what we're doing and getting accomplished that it just makes it wonderful. So I want to thank Linda for all of her support of us and what we do. And speaking of the board, last October, when the board had their strategic planning meeting, they restated the mission and the vision for NIPR. The original mission and vision were created in 2002, December of 2002, so it was time to take another look at it. It hasn't changed dramatically, but it is a little different, and the vision statement is a little bit more affirmative. In terms of what the board did at their strategic planning meeting, they also kind of restated the goals for the board. And it's these goals that aid us in being able to make sure that the direction that we are taking with developing products and services are in line with what the board wants us to do. In 2009, we completed 96 different state implementations. Now, what that means is we added states for limited lines, we added states for non-resident licensing, we added states for non-resident renewals, resident licensing, resident renewals. So we did 96 of these. We had a new product this year, and that was reporting of actions, which was an expansion of the attachments warehouse. And this was something that I remember, gosh, I would have to say maybe in 2003 or 2004 at this meeting, the industry folks came to us and said, isn't there any way where we could report these things to one place and have you send it out? And that finally happened this year. And then there was the construction. And this was a little project that was undertaken a number of years ago. And it was a challenge. It's been a challenge. We work very closely with the NAIC, and one of the great benefits of this is that we have updated our infrastructure. So that's the good news. The good news is we have bigger and better infrastructure. The bad news is we have new, bigger and better infrastructure. And every time you make a change like that, you find things out that you didn't know were going to happen, and you have to retest everything, and then you have to regression test, and then you have to fix it. And so it's been a challenge. And we foolishly said at the very beginning, this is an IT euphemism. It will be transparent to the user. Whenever the IT guy at the NAIC says that, I go, because it's never transparent to the user. I mean, to change like this, you can't help but have problems. In terms of the things that are going on behind the scenes, this is probably more detail than you want to know, but we are modernizing common architecture. And common architecture is the middleware that brings the data from the states to the database. And it means that the state sends the data as it is, and then Common Arc puts it where it needs to be in the database. And then we're doing a modernization of the jurisdictions and offerings data mappings, which will allow NIPR to effectively use the license and MOA data to our customers. So that's just some of the nitty-gritty here. And then, as I mentioned, the web services supports the transaction processing for fee calculations and also business rules. That's another one where being able to have that in a web service and being able to make those changes more easily, will benefit everybody, because it won't be the same level of effort to get a business rule changed as it has been. And then we have re-engineered, as you know, those of you in the industry that use us, we have re-engineered the P2B reports. We reduced response time and added more features to those reports. So in terms of expanding NIPR services, we're adding states all the time to resident licensing renewals, also to limited lines and other. And I mentioned the attachments warehouse. Another project that we're working on that we hope to have sometime, my staff will kill me if I say any dates or make any promises, so once again, the violence. That was kind of a theme yesterday. I don't know what that was about. We're going to be developing something called Producer Access Service System, or PASS, which we anticipate will be a subscription service that producers can use to come in and do whatever transactions they need to do, renew something, do a name change, address change, whatever, and they can do it all in the same session. We're also moving into they tell me, my staff tells me, my marketing staff tells me, and that we're moving into social media. And NIPR, we're going to be tweeting, and we're going to be Facebooking, and the reason we're going to do that is that 3 out of 4 Americans use social media technology to communicate. And I would say that every young person in, I'd say probably anybody under 40 uses social media constantly. And these are our business partners. We have Cumberland Licensing Corporation and ILSA, Insurance Licensing Services of America. And you'll see from this chart what they participate in terms of NIPR products and services. Kaplan Compliance Solutions, No More Forms, Stone River Reg Ed, Surcon, and Systeme Software. These are our authorized business partners. And we will have available, we actually have it, but the ADPs will start testing and using resident licensing and renewals, initial licensing and renewals. Surcon is going to start in June doing the resident licensing renewals, and then they'll begin testing to do resident licensing. So we have made that capability available. People have said, why can't the business partners do resident licensing and renewals? Now they will be able to do that. And this is the number of subscribers. We have data on over 4.7 million producers. Obviously, the producer database has been complete for a long time. We have 41 of 43 jurisdictions on appointments and terminations. 9 jurisdictions don't require appointments. We have 9 jurisdictions on appointment renewals, 49 of 52 on non-resident licensing, and I think we could have 51 of 52 jurisdictions on by the end of the year. So we could have everybody but Puerto Rico on non-resident licensing by the end of the year. That's all the good news. Now here are the maps that demonstrate that, and we kind of hope that one lonely state over there in the will come on for appointments and terminations too, and then we'll have a completely blue map there as well. And non-resident licensing and renewals, this map is confusing, but by the end of the year it'll be all blue. So we're very excited about that, I think. I'm very hopeful about that. We were trying to figure out, well, never mind, it speaks for itself. And resident licensing, that kind of speaks for itself as well, and we're in current development or testing with a number of states. And then address change, we don't, as of April 27th, we had almost 2 million address change. So that's huge. What do they do? Do they move every month? Yeah. I can't believe it. It's just incredible. Twice a month. I think that's probably true. And then the attachments, warehouse, and reporting of actions I've talked about. As of April 27th, we've had almost 12,000 background question and attachments for the 49 states. And then as of April 27th, we've had 338 reporting of actions for the 49 states. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I want to thank you for coming to E-Reg, and thank you for your attention.